Hello students, welcome back. As you people know, we have already completed our chapter in detail. In this session, we will have a brief recap of the chapter. We'll try to summarize all the important terms related to this chapter. Before that, don't forget to like my video and subscribe this YouTube channel. Also students, do mention your name, class, section and roll number in the comment section so that I'll come to know that you people are utilizing best of your time in learning science. The topics so far we have discussed in this chapter were rest and motion, types of motion, scalar and vector quantities, the concept of distance and displacement, uniform and non-uniform motion, speed and velocity, in which we also studied about the average speed and the average velocity. After that, we studied about the concept of acceleration. We also did distance time graphs and velocity time graphs. We derived 3 equations of motion graphically. We also studied uniform circular motion and did few numericals based on these topics. So students, let's start revising the topics of this chapter one by one. And the first topic is the concept of rest and motion. We will understand this topic with the help of a small video. Here it goes.
Rest and motion. A body is said to be at rest if it does not change its position with respect to its surroundings. If a body changes its position with respect to its surroundings, then the body is said to be in motion. For example, suppose a book is lying on a table. The book is at rest with respect to the surroundings. But the earth is revolving round the sun, therefore anything lying on the surface of the earth is also in motion. We can thus conclude that the book is in motion with respect to the sun. Let us suppose a person is travelling in a train and he passes by another person standing alongside the track. The person standing along the track will see the person and everyone else in the train as being in motion. But all the persons sitting in the train will be stationary with respect to each other. So, from the above examples, we can understand that an object may be in motion with respect to another object, but may be stationary with respect to a third object. According to A, C is in motion, but in relation to B, C is stationary.
So students, I hope you understood it. Now there are different types of motion: rectilinear motion, curvilinear motion, translatory motion, circulatory motion, oscillatory motion and periodic motion. But in this chapter we are going to deal with only rectilinear motion and circulatory motion. Rectilinear motion is a type of motion in which a body always travels along a straight line. For example, light, or we can say that a boy moving on a straight road. The second type of motion is circular motion. In circular motion, the body always moves in a circular path. For example, your merry-go-round, the spinning top, or your earth revolving around the sun. Our next topic is distance and displacement. Students, we all love to go to school. And while going there, we cover finite path from our house to the school. This path that you covered between your school and your house is called as the distance. So we can say that the distance is the total path covered. No matter in what direction you go, the distance simply get added. Thus, distance is a scalar quantity. Scalars are the quantities which have only magnitude and no direction. Magnitude simply means the numerical values like 1, 2, 3 till infinity. Whereas the direction can be east, west, north or south, or it can be positive or negative based upon a reference point, which is also an observer with respect to which an object is moving or is at rest. Students, whenever direction is added to a scalar quantity, it becomes a vector quantity. So, we can say that vector quantities are those quantities in which we have both magnitude and direction. One such example of vector quantities we have is displacement. Displacement is considered to be the shortest path covered by an object. Consider a situation here in which this zigzag path is the actual path covered by the object. So this is the distance traveled by the body. Whereas displacement is the shortest path between the initial and the final position, which is shown by a straight arrow, and it is known as displacement. Displacement can either be positive, negative or zero, as it is dependent on the direction. Let's take an example here. If you go to your school and after that you come back home, then your total distance will be x plus x, which will be equal to 2x, whereas your displacement will be x minus x, because one x was in the positive direction and another is in the negative direction. So it will give you the net displacement as 0. Both the distance and the displacement are a measure of a length, therefore their SI unit is meter. Students, our next topic is uniform and non-uniform motion. To understand this concept more clearly, let me show you one video. Here it goes.
Uniform motion and non-uniform motion. A body is said to be in uniform motion if it travels equal distances in equal intervals of time. A body is said to have non-uniform motion if it travels unequal distances in equal intervals of time. For example, consider a car moves from one position to another position about 16 meters distance within time t 8 seconds. Here, the car starts from O and after 2 seconds, it reaches position A covering a distance of 4 meters from the origin as shown. In next 2 seconds, it reaches position B covering a distance of 8 meters from origin, and in next 2 seconds, it reaches C covering a distance of 12 meters from origin, and in next 2 seconds, it reaches D covering a distance of 16 meters from origin. In this case, the car covers a total distance of 16 meters in 8 seconds with equal intervals of 2 seconds. It means that the distance covered by the car is directly proportional to the time. From this illustration, we can conclude that the car had travelled equal distances in equal intervals of time. So, this type of motion is known as uniform motion. Another example. Consider a car moves from one position to another position about 16 meters distance within time t 8 seconds. Here, the car starts from O and after 2 seconds it reaches position A covering a distance of 2 meters from the origin as shown. It reaches position B covering a distance of 8 meters from origin, and in next 2 seconds it reaches C covering a distance of 10 meters from origin, and in next 2 seconds it reaches D covering a distance of 16 meters from origin. In this case, the car covers a distance of 16 meters in each 2-second interval. From this illustration, we can conclude that the car had traveled unequal distances in equal intervals of time. So, this type of motion is called as non-uniform motion.
Students, now it's time to revise the concept of speed and velocity. Speed is defined as the distance traveled by an object per unit time. It is a scalar quantity because it depends only on the numerical value and not the direction in which the body is moving. Mathematically, its formula is distance upon time and its SI unit is meter per second because the SI unit of distance is meter and the SI unit of time is second. So, meter upon second is meter per second. On the other hand, how fast or slow an object moves in a particular direction is given by its velocity. Velocity can be defined as the change in displacement of an object in a given amount of time. It is a vector quantity because it tells us the direction along with the speed. Mathematically, it is written as displacement upon time and its SI unit is meter per second. Students, in case of non-uniform speed, when an object covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, we are unable to find out one speed with which an object is moving. So there is a need for another term that is known as average speed, which is defined as the total distance traveled by the body upon total time taken. Its SI unit is also meter per second. On the other hand, the average velocity is defined as the ratio of the total displacement and the total time taken by an object. Mathematically, its formula will be total displacement upon total time. It is a vector quantity and has the same unit as that of average speed. So students, this is all for today. In the next video, we shall revise the other half of the chapter. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.